Those 8 tips that I've given you are pure gold. Just try them out and you will see that you feel more confident and relaxed when speaking English. Hey guys, how is it going? My name is Catalin. Today we are going to focus on a very commonly asked question. How do I stop being scared when I'm going to speak English? Being a little bit scared or worried when you're going to speak in a language that is not your native language is very common. Lots of English learners, and really learners of all languages, can feel a bit worried when going to speak to native speakers of the language that they're learning. To help you get past this, today we are going to look at some tips and strategies that you can use to build your confidence so you can reach fluency faster. Let's get into the video. Our first strategy today is to start small. If speaking to a large group or to strangers in English absolutely terrifies you, you should start small. Begin with short and simple conversations with another English learner or a friend that is patient and willing to help you. Practicing your conversational skills with people that you feel comfortable with can build your confidence until you're ready to talk with others. If you struggle to find people to practice with, there are many websites and apps to connect you to other language learners around the world. And even now, with AI, you could use AI to practice your English conversational skills. Often people find that speaking over the internet is much less scary than speaking in real life. Tip number 2 is to keep a positive mindset. Instead of focusing on your mistakes and being scared or ashamed of making them, remember that making mistakes is all part of learning. Celebrate your progress and take a look at how far you've come. Strategy number 3 is to question. Ask yourself, why am I so scared to speak English? Once you've found the answer, you can make a list of all of the things that you can do to feel more confident. Maybe you're worried not because you're scared of making mistakes, but you think you might not understand what the other person has to say to you. If this is the case, some of the things that you could do to feel more confident is work on your listening skills and build your vocabulary. Once you've done the things on your list, you'll definitely feel more confident in conversations. Tip number 4 is to keep it simple and repeat. Begin your English practice with conversations and topics that you feel comfortable discussing. Have those same conversations multiple times till you feel really confident. As your confidence builds and your vocabulary increases, you can move on to discussing more complex and difficult topics. Tip number 5 is to record yourself. When you're having some conversation practice, try recording yourself and listening back to it. This will help you identify areas that you might need some improvement in and get you familiar with the sound of your own voice speaking in English. If you're looking to adopt a certain accent as well, this can be extremely helpful for accent practice. Number 6 is to prepare. I have had many students that have found it quite helpful to prepare a small script for certain situations. For example, when ordering food, they will prepare a small list of phrases or words that they know they will most likely need when ordering food at a restaurant. They will then practice these phrases and words until they feel very confident that they can use them in the proper situation. This method of practicing can be really helpful if you're scared that you'll freeze on the spot when you're making English conversation. Tip number 7 is don't worry too much about grammar. Although grammar definitely is important in English, I wouldn't say that it's the most important thing to study. If your aim for learning English is to be able to have a fluent conversation, definitely the listening and speaking components are far more important to focus on. When you're doing your English study, I would recommend spending more time improving your speaking and listening skills. When you go to speak to another person in English, I don't think they will mind very much if you accidentally use the wrong tense of a verb, and they definitely won't quiz you if you know all of the parts of speech. And finally, our last tip, number 8, is don't listen to that negative voice inside your head. The one that says, "They'll laugh at me if I make a mistake," or "They'll think I'm silly if I mispronounce a word." In my experience, people are very tolerant of language learners and really aren't that bothered if you make a mistake. Those 8 tips that I've given you are pure gold. Just try them out and you will see that you feel more confident and relaxed when speaking English. I do want to say though, it is completely natural and okay to be a little nervous when speaking to another person in a language that is not your native one. Just don't let it hold you back from making progress. If you enjoyed this video and found these tips helpful, please leave me a like and a subscribe to the channel would be amazing. If you've got any questions or video suggestions, you can leave those down in the comments below or send me a message on my social media. I will see you guys in the next lesson. Bye!